Hello and welcome to Pause the Vows. We've just watched episode 22, which was the first day at the retreat.
Yes, and today is such a beautiful episode.
Such a beautiful episode. Why, pray tell?
Well, as we go into the episode, I will talk about it, but today is epitome of what is happening in society.
Okay, that's kind of giving me a vibe about this recording that I don't know if I'm going to like. I think you're going to go way too deep on things, judging on that description.
I mean, well, I'll be going a little deeper, but you can see it.
Do you want to save that going deeper when we've done the bulk of it so that I can go get my dinner and you can just wax lyrical?
Well, let's get on. Sure, they have been to a countryside.
Oh,
Do we
wait,
know the
well, there were
town?
some things before that happened because it showed them at home
Oh,
before the retreat, didn't it?
I
Where people
forgot.
were just chatting about how the commitment ceremony went and all of that malarkey.
Yeah, and mostly Juliet has turned it around. She has come, she has
Yeah.
apologized, which felt genuine for a second.
Yeah, I agree. But equally, it's not an excuse. And he let her off very lightly, but by just accepting the apology and not saying anything else about it. Like,
I,
over and done with.
I think because a person who remembers Teddy and keeps it for so long is ready to let go of what this woman Juliet has done to him in the previous dinner party and the last couple of weeks.
What, you mean he's willing to, like, forgive and forget about people's bad behaviour because he's got his teddy to hold on to?
No, it's because
Because that's a little bit what it sounds like you just said.
no, I think he has got a thing for Juliet. That is why he is. I don't know, he wants to believe that there is
Yeah, I think he wants it to work, doesn't
something.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when they arrived at the retreat, they were miraculously so close, like physically hugging and holding on to each other, little kisses, and they'd shared a bed. And it's just like, oh, Beck was completely confused by it. And
I am completely
to be
confused by
honest, so
it.
was I. I was just as
Everyone.
stunned. It's just this like, huh? What's happening here? How did this happen? And it's like I don't know. It's like being in the bloody Twilight Zone or something. Like, what's happening? What's going on? How did this come about?
Yeah, it's one of those things like,
You could have turned somebody permanently green and got the same amount of confusion from Beck, and probably myself.
yeah, I mean, it's just not back. I mean, yeah, I mean, Beck was feeling what everyone was feeling watching the
Yeah,
TV
she's the
because,
only one that actually voiced it to camera.
yeah, it's just yeah, because it looks completely not believable because
Yeah.
the amount of disgust this woman had for this man and suddenly love it away. Yeah, I don't
You're not
trust
a
it.
man. You're this. You're that. I hate you with your devil eyes. But I don't want to leave. And now I'm acting like I really like.
Yeah, probably this is why Joel is single. Like, if he's so naive,
Maybe.
yeah, it'll be very hard to understand what is real and what is not real.
Yeah. Moving on to Philip and Stella.
Yes, they finally dropped the love word, love
Yeah,
bomb.
love Bob. Although he didn't come out and say I love you. It's I am in love with you.
Do you know the
I
difference?
I did think when they were talking about the love bomb that they were talking specifically about saying I love you to each other, and that's why they'd been dancing around saying I have love for you, I have strong feelings for you, blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So when he was like, "Oh, I'm in love with you," like, okay, but that's not what I was expecting. And then she didn't say I love you back either. She said, yes, I'm in love with you.
See,
So they're both still dancing around it. They've not actually explicitly said.
all right. Do you know the difference between I'm in love with you and I?
No, but I think that's irrelevant.
See, this is where you are nitpicking. I think just let them. They have said the love word. Just leave it at that.
Okay,
I know the
okay.
difference, but I don't want to explain right now. So
Fine, we'll
let's.
leave it there.
Yes.
Alyssa and David. Oh my god, she's still talking about higher frequency. Being a higher frequency person, higher functioning person. To me, and clearly to David as well, because he said, I interpreted what he said to mean similar. It's like Alyssa's insinuating that David is boring and dumb. Like he's not as smart as her. He's not as interesting as her. And then her accusing him of taking it all personally, and it's a her saying it's a me thing. It's a me thing. No, it's not about you. It's a me thing. But she's not understanding his perspective. And then when she was saying, I'm glad you understand now. I don't think he does. I
I
think
don't
he just
think
felt
anyone
shouted
does.
down
Yeah,
by her just going, no, it's a me thing, it's a me thing, it's a me thing. That he was just like, do you know what? I'm going to agree to keep the peace. He's essentially being called boring and dumb by her, and her, in her words, filling her own cup by going for massages and things. They're really nice things for anybody to do, but I don't understand how that makes a difference for someone who is supposedly higher frequency and higher functioning.
I mean, she's a social media manager, so she uses these words because these words are popular or something. It's just, yeah, it's just one of those things. They are there for the showmans. We know that, and I think it's showing on her face like she's taking it because how much can she act?
Yeah, maybe.
And yeah, it's one of those things. David is trying to say this vibration. What exactly do you mean? Like, if you want to say it,
Yeah.
but don't dance around it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you say something in the most respectful way possible, just get it out there and be truthful. Like it might hurt, but he can deal with it. And she's just like, no, 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 it's a me thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like,
I
I,
think she's learned some tricks with word salad. I think that's what.
I mean, social media manager, social
I
media
know, but also
influencers.
having
So
been on the experiment for what, 6 weeks now, and been with so many people who just constantly use word salad, she's learned some.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's just we just don't know what's with her because
Yeah.
she always talks as if she's like from Texas,
Texas.
America. Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. She has that accent because I have never seen anyone in the experiment ever any Australian speaking like her.
I don't really see how she speaks differently, but that's fine.
Yeah, for me, I can just see it. Everybody speaks like decent English,
Yeah.
but her, it's always a bit of energy in it, a bit of push in it.
Yeah, fair enough. Sam and Chris, we didn't really see anything of together. Not really. It was more them around others. I liked how no, not Chris, sorry, Sam was supportive of Rachel, but he kind of maintained neutrality at the same time. Did you notice? He didn't really take sides like some people did, and other people completely kept out of the conversation. But he kind of stepped up and said, you know what? I think it was disrespectful. But in doing that, he also didn't seem to take a side. Do you get what I mean? He kind of
Okay,
tread
we
that
did
fine
not.
line.
Okay, the thing is, if you are talking to talk about it, we have to talk about what happened. So
Well, let's get
go
there
to
in a
the
minute because,
let's go to the retreat because what others couple shown is they have shown others couples packing their luggage and that's it. And if you
yeah.
want to go into depth about
Well,
it, I'm
wait,
happy.
because there's so much happened that all focuses around Rachel and Stephen and Beck and Danny. We'll get there in a moment. I was just covering the other couples, but I wanted to just say that briefly and it will make sense. So, first of all, would you like to go to Rachel and Stephen and then we'll get to the retreat?
All right, Rachel and Steven, they had done something. Second base, first base, I don't know what happened, but they went beyond kissing.
Yeah,
So
they've
that's
been,
all
in
we
their
know.
words, fooling around and had some fun. And they've seemed really comfortable and really happy with it. There they are now, which is nice.
Yes, it is nice, and yeah, it's and then we go to the retreat.
Yeah,
It's
and
the same
then
thing, guys. Run for their rooms. I don't know why, and it's funny how everyone is running fast and Steven being the short fella.
yeah. And you know what? I think Stephen and Rachel probably ended up with the better room anyway because they got their little separate space being in the guest house.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not going to comment. The only thing I'm going to comment is I don't like Gia's and Scott's room. I have no interest in having bathtub next to bed. I don't know how it works. Like, I know they are not the ones that are going to clean, so that is okay.
Yeah.
But that would be very messy to even
Why?
use the bath. You wake up the bath, the water will be out, and The bath
What are
smells,
you
you
what
know.
are you planning on doing? Splashing about like you're a mermaid or something?
You don't even have to splash. That's how hydraulics work. You wake up.
Hydraulics. That's how hydraulics works. You wake up and water just splashes.
Yeah, if you get
What
out
do you
of
mean?
bath, water automatically splashes, and then also there'll be this weird smell once you are.
Why would there be a smell?
We have different things, but I have no.
I'll have
I
to try
don't
and
know.
make a mental note to purposely book a hotel room at some point in the future that has a bath
Yes,
in the bedroom,
which we'll
and we
never
can
be using.
experiment and see,
No.
does it smell? Are there hydraulics involved? Do we wake up and splash water? What
I mean,
happens?
see, the thing is, if you are living in a fairy la la land, that's all right. You take a bath, there is hair. Will you be cleaning it? Will they be cleaning it? I don't think either of them will
I think
clean
it's
it.
meant to be romantic. You
The
take a nice romantic relaxing bath together, you
Yes, the
know?
idea is very fine.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah, but the idea looks very fine, but the practicality of it, I don't think it's that good.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did think when they started running, I thought there's no way that Scott and Gia are not going to get the best room. I just had a feeling, and lo and behold, they had the best room in the house. But
According to you.
according to them, they called it the best
I
room in the
mean, they would
house.
call any room the best room. It's them. It's Gia. She will call anything she has in her hand as the best thing in the world,
Okay,
like Donald
fair.
Trump.
Let's not go there. We've already got rid of two Trump supporters, and we're left with you. Let's leave Trump out of the equation. Okay, so at the retreat, day one, welcome drinks on the first evening. Rachel and Stephen make their announcement, don't they, to the group that, we've taken our intimacy to the next level. And everyone's like, woohoo! And then Beck turns to Stephen and goes, isn't it great that you guys are fucked?
Yes.
Like making her clumsy assumption. At first, I thought it was a way of maybe trying to dig into their business by like saying it in the hopes that Stephen would like correct her or give her a little snippet of detail so that she knew the correct context. Didn't.
Because Steven is awkward around
Yeah.
intimacy. We know that,
Well,
and
I think he's awkward anyway. He
they
clearly
were all
doesn't.
having. Okay, so this
He
is an
clearly doesn't
edit.
really like Beck.
Yeah, there is that. It is, how do you say, what happened is they are all sitting in the porch of the and
Yeah.
having drinks, and they were all just chatting,
Yeah.
and Beck made a comment in
She then
between
stood
the
up.
in
I,
between the discussion. It's funny. I mean,
oh,
it's
yeah.
really good that you guys have fucked it. It's, she said in a very positive way. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, again, for Beck. Clumsy word choice, but he then felt really uncomfortable. Sam could tell that Stephen was uncomfortable,
Yeah,
but
Steven
nothing
was.
but nothing was said in the moment. I do wonder, obviously we'll never know. Nobody will ever know. I do wonder if in the moment Stephen had said, that I don't like that comment, or, that comment just made me feel really uncomfortable, whether the outcome the rest of the night would have been different. However, like we said, he's an awkward guy. He's awkward around intimacy, and he clearly doesn't like confrontation. And that's fine. That's who he is. So he didn't say anything about it. It could have been different if he'd have felt able to say something, but never mind. And then,
Beck called everyone around,
yeah,
and
all
she.
attention on Beck, all eyes on Beck. Everyone has to be focused on her while she makes her
No.
announcement
N-
about other people.
no, see, this is where I completely disagree. She's being a unifier there, bringing all people together and toasting for Philip and Stella, telling each other I love you, and then goes to the bounce back of the century. Joel and Juliet, and then she made a comment.
She basically repeated the same comment that she made to Stephen, didn't she, about how Rachel and Stephen have now fucked, and she could have left.
Okay,
She
see,
or worded it differently.
no, the thing is, this is where I completely disagree. I mean, there could always be a better choice of words, but everybody has to learn when you are 30, like 30, 35, they both are 30, 35. You should learn to laugh at yourself because when you are in a group, people laugh at it. I mean, you should have the ability to laugh at yourself,
Yeah,
because
I don't disagree, but I think we're going to be disagreeing throughout most of this episode because
we
I am
are,
very much on the side of Rachel and Stephen.
oh, I am
Most of my notes that
completely,
I've got are about what Beck and Danny have done wrong.
no, I'll be completely honest. I think today is the day which kind of epitomizes like back being a unifier, calling everyone.
Yeah,
And when you have called everyone and you are saying toast, it would be fucking boring to say
yeah.
line by line respectfully this. It's about
No,
feeling the mood and then making a couple of jokes here and there. That's what everyone does in all of the history.
do you know what? She could have said something completely different and still made a joke, and it would have been fine. She could have said, about Philip and Stella and about Joel and Juliet being like the turnaround of the century. And then she could have said, and Stephen and Rachel have finally taken a step forward in their intimacy. And like on the side, she could have said, at long last, ha ha ha. Everybody would have liked that. They would have laughed at that and accepted that as something appropriate and funny, and everyone would have had a good time and moved on. It was the poor phrasing.
No, this is what I completely disagree. When you are in
That's
a
fine, you can
crowd,
disagree.
when somebody is trying to unify it, celebrate it, they tend to, anyone that does, have to make a bit of humor to just lift the mood.
The mood
And
seemed to
she
be
did.
fine. Everyone was having a good time. They were all having their conversations. She dragged people away from like
That's
the
how
garden and the
unifying
opposite side of
works.
the porch and broke up their conversations just to make, to try to unify people, as you say, and make some jokes that were not all in good taste or good humor.
See, you can never say, see, when you are putting things against that standard, the society will never come together. It will be people living separately. There is no sense of community. There'll be no sense of community anywhere in the world. If you are putting that standard, saying that, oh, you have to use this set of words, you have to use that of set of words, it just becomes bloody boring.
I disagree.
Yeah, and then she said something like fucked or something. Finally, these guys have finally fucked or something. And Rachel is like,
She
shit.
didn't say anything immediately, though.
She didn't say anything immediately, and then some people pointed about Rach to Beck, and Beck is like, she's perplexed. I am perplexed. Danny is perplexed. There will be tons of audience that will be perplexed because it's a comment. I mean, sometimes you are butt of the joke. I mean, how do you think jokes happen if nobody is going to be butt of the joke? Sometimes.
I don't know. But then the knee jerk apology that Beck gave was completely insincere. And then she started trying to claw back from what she'd said and somehow turned it into an attack on Rachel instead. And I can't work out how or why she decided to do that.
Because Rachel has suddenly turned around something Beck said as a joke, as a throwaway comment, and then she's like, "You made my relationship out of a joke. Let's say if Rachel gets a pamphlet in her home for diet foods, she'll be like, oh, that guy called me fat.
No, I
That
disagree. I don't think so.
that's what exactly happened today. Like, she made something out, she got angry, she walked out, which is all right. Like, sometimes you get angry, you walked out. But what happened was, suddenly the mean girls suddenly have turned into messiahs, Gia. And
No, no, we'll get there. We're not there
no, I
yet.
mean, even during this, they're having these facial expressions as if Beck has done something really awful and
She did.
disrespect. I don't think she
She
did.
did. It was very disrespectful. What if? What if it was the other way around? What if someone made a joke of Beck's relationship and poked fun at things that are sensitive to her, like the comment Danny allegedly did or didn't make about fancying Gia and Gia being his normal type,
See,
and
this is
about
where,
about Danny not really having any sexual chemistry with her. What if it was someone else making jokes to the group about Beck and her relationship that was something like that, that like those things that she would find really sensitive. What then? Because if she was then super upset, would you say she was justified? Yeah, you would.
Now you are
So
comparing.
what's the difference?
Now you are comparing next door Karen to a Bin Laden. That's
No,
what
it's
you
not.
did.
It's not. It's what's sensitive to those individuals. It
That's
doesn't
what I'm
matter
talking
necessarily the
about.
topic. If it's something that's sensitive to someone and they share it in celebration, like I get it with Beck, it was something she's upset about. But if you share it in celebration like Rachel and Stephen did, and then someone turns around and makes a joke and it's something you're really sensitive about, it's probably not funny. What makes you think that that's appropriate?
See, that's what I'm talking about. If you are setting these standards, then people can never talk to each other or talk about each other or talk as a group
So what you're
because
saying is, if people, broadly speaking, if people were consistently respectful about other people and in what they say, the world can't function. Is that what you're saying?
exactly. So there will be no concept of society or community.
So society as we know it right now will completely fall apart and disintegrate if people decide to be respectful.
Yeah,
That's absolute bollocks.
because there'll be no fun, no comedy anymore. People take piece of each other all the time. That's how they communicate and
Yes,
connect.
but where it's appropriate.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Where it's appropriate, what you are saying is if the other person doesn't get hurt, it's appropriate. If the other person gets hurt, it's inappropriate. So you are putting what is going to happen, you are putting the result, and you are saying
No, it's about
know the future and then come back and do things.
it's about the context and awareness of other people's depth of feeling.
I mean, I could not have known that Rachel would be so sensitive. Do you?
I mean, I think she's demonstrated that it's something that's really quite private to them. It's
Then
obviously
don't
very
share with the
sensitive.
group. Then don't share with the group. Don't tell with
So,
the group.
in order to not be made a joke of or be hurt by people's disrespectful, insensitive comments, don't celebrate anything positive for like between you and your partner with other people. That's what you're saying.
Well, if you are very sensitive about everything, then don't come out of home. Just live in a home. Get everything on delivery.
Okay,
Get a
Tyson. Okay, Tyson, I see you. Today's not about keeping the gays in the closet, it's keeping the sensitive folks at home.
because that's what it is.
I don't want to, don't, being sensitive is fine. I just don't want them around me. Keep them in their house in case I accidentally upset them. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's
Oh my
because
god.
they get offended accidentally. Then maybe you shouldn't, like, if you are
Or
such
maybe
a
you shouldn't say something
sensitive
offensive.
person. See, that's what I'm talking about. What she said is not offensive. She got offended. There is a difference. There is a difference
No.
between me saying offensive things to hurt you and then me making a joke and then you get offended.
We've
Offense is
already
taken.
acknowledged, though, that Beck made a clumsy word choice and it was poor. It was poorly judged, even though there was no malice behind it, allegedly.
No,
Do
there
you
was
know
no
what?
malice behind it. There, what?
The majority of Beck's comments and behaviour throughout this episode, never mind Danny, and I'll come to him later, just seemed to be about airtime. I want more time on screen. She made the comment and it meant that she had conflict with Rachel, so she got more airtime. The girls' night, after whatever conversations happened, she got up and she walked out, which meant she got more airtime.
All right. Okay. This is where
She
you are
made
giving.
comments around the pool the next day, which got her more airtime. Like,
Okay.
come
First thing,
on.
no. I think this is where you are giving too much credit to Beck. She speaks to things. She's a very different kind of person. She is like every average Joe. Now you are being completely elitist and classist. This is how.
How? I'm not talking about her class or anything
No, you
elitist.
are being. I'm not saying you are being clash because how Beck talks. That's what every ordinary person in every street speaks.
I don't know. I don't know. But what about after Rachel had left the welcome evening drinks upset and Stephen had gone with her and she made the comments about, well, how do you think you got to this point? My husband was taking him out for beers. Like it's something that Beck can personally take credit for. Like Danny had taken Stephen out for beers multiple times and it's because of her and them that Stephen has finally progressed the intimacy with Rachel. Like, you can't take credit for someone else's actions, even if you spend
I
days
mean,
encouraging them.
I mean, okay, Beck might not have mentioned, but I think that's true. Danny has actually helped Steven. I think he has
Listen, he
actually.
might have been encouraging, that's fine, but ultimately, if Stephen made that choice, that's on Stephen. Beck can't take credit for what Danny has done that may or may not have resulted in Steve acting on it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, see, what happened is
It's like
Beck
me
being
telling
the.
you about like something really, really good in a shop, and then you passing that information on to your sister, and then she passes it on to someone else, and then that person goes out and buys it because they think it's really good. I can't take the credit for all of that chain of events happening. That's just ridiculous.
Okay, what happened is Beck, we know Beck is not emotionally strong. That much we
I'm not sure she's
establishes till now.
emotionally stable or mentally stable.
No, she's mentally stable. She's just not emotionally as intelligent as you make her to be. I don't think she's concept of, oh, this will come on it and that will come on it and that is the other girls you are mixing up with a talent like Gia, who goes and gets does something like she gets a tattoo, or she will be walking out because she knows those things will come to her. On the other hand, Beck, she just does what she does. That's it. I think Beck got what do you say? She got offended because she's celebrating everyone, and suddenly Rachel is being this bloody drama queen, and she left off as if Beck has done something horrible, and Beck got hurt, and Beck is saying things like, "Oh, my husband has said you." That's
No, but she was saying it like she's able to take credit for it. Like, oh, get over yourself. You only
exactly.
got this far because of me.
Yeah, exactly. Stop being such a fussy baby. That's what she meant. And I
Oh,
am completely with Beck on this.
well, we're going to continue to
Yes,
disagree. As you can tell, all my comments tonight have had the same theme.
brilliant. Will be on completely different ways. So let's go to the next thing. Like,
Well, wait, because Beck was then laughing about it all, which just shows she really, really doesn't care and she wanted more reactions and more screen time. And then the next morning to Danny saying, oh, in bed, and oh, how funny was it last night? It was so funny, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to do this today. Like, just no fucks given.
because she's so perplexed. Like, there is something about.
Perplexed or
No,
clueless.
perplexed. I don't think it's clueless. I think she's so perplexed because something a throwaway comment. That's how people in general speak. It might be an uncle in your when you're sitting at a dinner. It might be somebody else. You have six people around, like four people around. There'll be one person like back making, and everybody one somebody is doing fill up time saying something. Can the
I don't know. I disagree. I do. I disagree. I think it's all about screen time and attention for Beck. And then the irony for me, I felt it was just like, because she was saying maybe Rachel just didn't get enough attention when she made her announcement. So she had to be upset about it, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll put it on a t shirt. I'll make merch. I'll put it on a t shirt. Are you going to buy it? Will you buy my merch? Will you buy my merch?
she's
Oh,
making jokes like she is
yeah, but they're
completely
cruel. They're
perplexed.
cruel jokes
There
because
is nothing cruel about
it's
it.
making fun of Rachel. It's not even
I will
about the
buy that
situation.
merch. I will buy that
Well,
merch
you
if
can make and buy your own blood.
it's
With
it's
our budget, you'll be making it out of bloody paper.
yeah, but it's one of those things. It's so perplexed. Dan is perplexed. There are so many people that's well, she got her, and that's nothing wrong. She got her that day, which is completely acceptable. Somebody will be people get offended for all the times,
Hmm.
but she held on to that see the problem with Rachel is she has this main character syndrome.
Oh, give over. I disagree strongly.
I think she has main character syndrome, but the problem is she just doesn't have the main character energy.
I disagree. Personally, I disagree. Right, before we move on to the girls and boys' nights, I just wanted to say that on the night of the welcome drinks and the upset, and then the morning after, I thought it looked really, really good. Like Stephen was doing so well, supporting Rachel and also standing up for Rachel and their relationship. More to come, I know. But on the whole, I thought he did really well, and she clearly felt very supported and backed up by him, which is really important.
Yeah, it is important, and at the same time, it made me kind of give a overview of Steven's hesitation with Rachel, because if that is what she's getting so but hurt yet, how sensitive is she in the relationship? I mean, we know the edits do people.
Yeah.
I think she might be very sensitive person in general. Like if you remember,
Well, it does seem like she's very sensitive, yeah. So act accordingly.
we didn't know that. How would we know? Because he was making a banter in the first episode. You remember when Steven is talking about
Yeah, I
football
remember.
games and she got really upset about it.
Yeah,
And I think it's the same thing that happened. And
maybe. But at
the
this point, you would
problem,
think everyone else in the group knows to a greater or lesser extent how sensitive she is. I mean, Sam's known her for 2 weeks, and he clearly knows how sensitive she is. So, what's Beck's excuse? What's Danny's excuse?
I mean, maybe she didn't clock it that she's that sensitive.
Yeah, because she's bloody useless. Beck, she's.
Call
I
whatever
can't.
you
I can't
want to
think of the
say.
exact words
Call
right now.
whatever you want to say. Beck is the unifier of society,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not
yeah.
on the
No,
show,
no, let's
in
not give her
real.
that, because if she ever, I mean, it's incredibly unlikely she'll ever hear this, but if ever she hears someone call her the unifier of society, she will take that, make merch, sell it, and stand at the top of the bloody Sydney Opera House like the queen of the world.
I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to see that. I mean, see, you disagree however you want. You keep your disagreements. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is, don't try to invalidate me and hurt my feelings, okay?
I'm not. I didn't know you were so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive and butthurt.
See, no, no, why did you say that? Why did you not say, oh, I apologize? Why did you do that thing?
Because it's you and I knew how you would take it.
Doesn't matter if it's me or anything. According to what you said, you should be like, oh, I'm really sorry that I have hurt your feelings.
I apologize for how my wording made you feel. How's that? That's quite a Beck apology, isn't it?
Yeah, and also that night, we also have to say, Juliet suddenly is in Joel's bed
Yeah, they've
after.
spent the night together. However, they are on the retreat. They probably don't have enough beds. When there's been retreats before where couples have wanted to sleep separately, it's usually one of them has to leave.
Yes,
So,
but what about kisses in the
yeah,
bed?
I know. We've talked about this rapid turnaround that's miraculous and very confusing for most people, except apparently for them too.
Yeah, I think it's just Juliet desperately wants to be on the show, and
Yeah.
she does. I mean, just like Danny slept with Beck for to be on the show, Juliet is doing what she's doing. This is why Me Too thing is more complicated
Yeah,
than
we
what
don't we
people
don't need to
think.
go there again. And anyway, we've talked about Juliet and Joel. We have way more to go with Beck and Danny, and some more with Scott and Gia, and some more with Rachel and Stephen as well. There's a lot. I made a lot of notes. I felt it was needed.
It's
So the next day, when it was the start of the boys' night, when Danny was then joining in with the guys, saying Rachel blows things out of proportion, and he was trying to get Stephen to either outright say she blows things out of proportion, she's too sensitive, or to trip him up into saying it. I thought he did really well. He could have easily fallen into that trap and just gone, well, yeah, but, and tried to rationalize it. He was so careful to dance around it to make sure that he didn't, I don't know, cause any issue by saying yeah, basically. She does blow things out of proportion, but this is something so sensitive to her. It's so important to her. I did notice when he's defending Rachel and how she has felt, he said how important it is to her. He hasn't said how important it is to him. And I wonder whether that's because he's focusing on how she's feeling and how hurt she is, that he's not factoring himself into the conversation.
Okay, from the discussion, like Danny confronting Steve about it, what I understood is apparently Danny and Steve are friends
Yeah,
outside marriage, like they go out.
yeah,
And I think Steven has confided in Danny about Rachel's oversensitiveness, because we don't know
maybe.
what happens,
Yeah,
because Rachel is like, I don't know, it's one of those things, I can't stand her laugh. It's bloody annoying. Does that mean that I can get hurt and say some things like your laugh is awful or something? People just endure. If Rachel thinks that her laugh has to be endured,
yeah.
she has to endure a comment from back,
Oh
which
dear.
didn't come from any malice. If it came from malice, that's completely different. She has every right to go ape shit. But that's what I'm talking about. Her laugh annoys me so fucking, even if on TV.
Why, what's it like?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure for a few seconds there if you'd gone into your own laugh or not.
No, that's what I'm talking about. People endure your laugh, babe. So please chill down. It was just a throwaway comment. That's what I'm talking about. She is too sensitive. That's why probably she's single, but will not make,
We'll not go into that.
yeah,
I
will
mean, for
not
the
make
purposes
such a
of the show,
judgment.
she is not single, so we'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, keep it like that. You'll drive any man away.
Okay.
Yeah, because no man wants to be like, no man wants to be in a relationship which is like a Minecraft. You walk 2 steps, oh, a mine blows, and you don't even know why it blew in your face. Yeah, but
Okay.
and
Right. So, were you saying about me that Stephen very carefully worded things? He might have confided in Danny about, Rachel being sensitive, but also that just makes it seem even more like Danny was trying to trip him up and get him to say on camera, she's too sensitive, she's difficult, something like that. Which
okay, here we have,
Danny trying to then cause drama. And
see, this is
it
forget.
just seems a bit contrived. Like, did him and Beck spend the day cooking this up?
Well, see, you are no, you
Maybe.
are reading way into it. What happened is Danny and Steven are friends.
Yeah.
Beck and Rachel, they are not friends, but they are in amicable terms. What
Yeah.
happened is now it's Rachel against Steven, which means Danny has to take Beck's side and Steven has to take Rachel's side.
Yeah.
It has become, and they got involved in it, and I think both of them did very well. Like Danny has got Beck's back, Rachel has got Steven's back. Is it a bit ugly? Yes, the situation is very ugly, but they both held off their own.
Yeah.
And let's go to
Okay. The girls' night
girls' night. I think this is
started
where
off nice, and
it's.
then Rachel kind of voiced
Oh well,
how
before
things.
going to
Wait,
Rachel,
Rachel then voiced how things are going because obviously they were going
no,
round.
let's not start with.
You want to start with Stella? Because we didn't
Yes.
really see much else.
Well, let's talk about Stella. Like she talked about her insecurities. I think
Yeah, she
her
got
dad
really
left.
vulnerable, didn't she?
Yeah, because her dad left early as.
Yeah, and she said, I think when she was 4 or something like that.
Yeah, so she did not really have a male in the household.
Yeah.
So for her, it's always the fear that,
She said it's the fear of abandonment, didn't she?
yeah, it is, and we could totally understand that. And things are going so well, and when things go so well, you'll be like, ah, when will they start breaking down or falling apart?
Do you think almost like she's waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's very common for, I guess, anyone.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And then who else talked? I think
I
it's
don't know. I don't
and
really
then
know
it's
if anybody else did
and then
talk.
it's Rachel. She had this. How do you say? Yeah, she talked about her and
Stephen.
Steven, and she made those comments about Beck.
No, no, wait. She got to actually voice how things were going with Stephen beyond just the increased intimacy, didn't she? And it was really nice, and everyone was supportive, and they all celebrated it. And then it came into I can't remember the exact comments or things that Rachel said that led to Beck's quote unquote apology, because let's face it, her apologies clearly aren't sincere because she keeps repeating the same behavior. But again, we'll come to that.
Okay,
We'll come
we'll
to that.
we'll
We're
completely
not
come
there
to
yet.
that. We'll completely come there.
Yeah.
But what happened is, first, there was no malice behind it. She wasn't hurtful and saying mean things to other people. But what happened is, Gia suddenly became this saint. Gia and Juliet suddenly
Oh,
became
no,
this
no, no.
saint.
We've not got there yet. We've not even got that far yet.
Go ahead. You.
I asked you, can you remember what comments were that Rachel said
No, I
that
haven't.
prompted Beck's non apology? Because that, again, the apology that was more about the wording than actually having hurt anybody, which was the key thing here, you know? She really shouldn't have apologized for the wording. She should have apologized for the hurt that her poor wording caused. I think that would have resolved things a lot faster and a lot easier. But then it just descended into people just back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, you know what happened there? What happened there is, Gia doesn't like Beck, Juliet doesn't like Beck, Alicia doesn't like Beck. So what happened is, they reiterated Rachel's feelings,
Right.
not because they care for Rachel, because they hate Beck.
So you truly think it was all about ganging up on her?
Definitely, that's what 100% happened, because it didn't happen on the girls' night. Even the previous day, when Beck had made those comments, if you see Gia's and Juliet's faces, they were making faces as if Beck did something really, really wrong. While it's just, that's what I'm talking about. Suddenly, Juliet is coming before camera and saying, "That's really disrespectful." Gia is coming before camera and saying, "No, Beck is really awful person, this that and all." They don't like Beck, so that's what happened. Because they don't like Beck, they started reiterating Rachel's feelings and made it feel like she said something awful, something wrong, and everything. That's what exactly happened.
But something that you weren't paying attention to, because I don't know what you were doing on your phone, presumably playing chess or something whilst they were talking, whilst Rachel was talking about her and Stephen celebrating their wins in the relationship and all of that. You didn't see Beck pulling face after face after face after face, like, ugh, come on, like, ugh, get over it. Like, is that it? You know, she was pulling all these faces and she was being quite disrespectful. It's just lucky that nobody else either spotted it or pulled her up on it, because yeah, I think if it had been, I don't know, maybe if it was Gia, let's put aside the fact that they don't like each other. If it was Gia saying something and she saw Beck pulling those faces, or someone else pulling faces, and she was like, "What's that face about?" You
No,
know, whereas
okay, no,
whereas
no.
I don't think Rachel spotted it, and no one else, if they saw it, didn't like said anything.
All right, first thing, Beck's face has been doing its own thing
No, no,
since
you're
the
trying to
start of
say
the show. No, I
no.
mean, what you're saying is, if somebody has Tourette's, would you actually blame them? Because Beck has been pulling faces since the start of the show.
You're trying to say her face on its own is a sentient thing, and it
Yes,
has its own, in fact, not even sentient, it's just like a,
it does its own
yeah,
expressions. Yeah,
yeah, like it has a mind and a life of its own
yeah,
with no real intelligence behind it, her face only.
yeah. She
What
has a
absolute shit.
very.
It's a conscious choice to pull faces. She could sit there and just look miserable. She could sit there and look neutral. It's a choice she made to be like, ugh, eye rolling, pulling faces, looking around the room.
I
Like,
mean, okay,
come
first thing,
on.
no.
It was
Have
really
you not observed?
disrespectful.
It's not about being disrespectful. That's what I'm talking about. That's the face she makes, has been making since the beginning of the show, since the Hans party in the first show.
And it's always been rude and disrespectful.
It's not about rude and
But it's been
disrespectful.
more often
It
than not.
shows up on her face. I'm sorry.
No.
Some people can be completely vile inside and don't show on their face. And some people have very, what do you say? Expressive faces. I'm sorry.
I
And
disagree.
it might also be an edit. Can you also think that way? Like, maps people do those things. It might be edit, so let's not.
If it is an edit, who was she pulling the faces at? Because she was definitely pulling faces
It
when
might be.
people were talking. And if it's the edit, why was everybody looking at Rachel, turning towards Rachel and looking in her direction when Beck was pulling faces? Edit that, will you? Tell me. How would they get that? Was it
Wait,
AI?
wait.
Was it a deep fake?
No. What you have seen is Beck pulling faces when Rachel is talking about Steven. What if Beck is pulling faces when she's making those comments about Beck in a indirect way? How do you
No.
know? How do you know it's not that?
No, I disagree.
No, no, no. You talk about logic, and then I bring the logic, and then suddenly
Because
you
your logic doesn't make
disagree.
sense to me.
Yeah, because it does. See, that's what
To
I'm
me, it's
talking
not
about.
logical.
You want to hate back, feel free to. But today, at least on this day, I see Beck as actually the one that gets hate upon her. Like Alicia is suddenly so disrespectful, babe, this babe, that babe. Shut up. I was like, Alicia, shut up. You don't speak anything. You don't let David speak. We don't know if David is still in the show or he's a paid actor. So please,
Paid actor.
please, even
He's not an
Alicia.
actor, he's a rapper and e-commerce guy.
Yeah, but see, when they all ganged up on Beck standard to start and leave, suddenly it was Rachel that's making things like, oh, because you have been made to be accountable, you are leaving.
Well, no, I thought it was.
On the other day, on the
Wait.
previous night, she left because she can't take a small joke.
She left because she was upset. And
Why can't Beck
rather than
leave?
fall into Beck's trap and argue and fight, because Beck did seem to try and turn aggressive and like it was going to be an argument and a fight, she just left so that it wasn't as a big fuss or a bigger fuss.
And why?
But you've jumped ahead because you're saying now that Beck left. Well, she left because she couldn't take it. She couldn't hack it. She didn't have anything to say for herself to explain why it's acceptable for her to make comments to people that are rude, nasty, and or inappropriate multiple times, week after week after week, and apologize each time, and yet the behavior still continues. If it's just clumsy wording, why is it only occasionally when she's upset someone that she's, oh, it was just a poor word choice, I'm sorry? Like, I think Rachel had a fair question. Are you not fed up of apologizing to people? Are you not sick of it? If you're fucking up so regularly that you're apologizing equally as regularly, you're gonna get sick of eating that humble pie and saying sorry and I apologize. No?
See, this is where you completely, I don't know, you might hate back to, but what happened is something that a throwaway comment.
No.
And
No.
wait,
No, you
let
need to
me,
put it aside.
no, let me, because context matters. Because what happened is it was a throwaway comment. Rachel is this very insensitive girl. All right, that is fine. But what happened is when it was between her and Beck, instead of sorting out personally, what happened is the other girl started ganging up on her and she let it happen. And when it happened in the previous dinner night, she is like, oh no, they are ganging up on this one girl. Right now, when it is on her side, she did not say, guys, you don't interfere. This is between me and Beck. We'll sort out. No, she did not do. She let others gang up on her and then wait.
I'm raising my hand and
Yes,
waiting.
please let me speak and then you
Speak.
can. That is okay, distracting. So Alicia started ganging upon her. Gia and Juliet, suddenly the saints, the Mary and Mary Magdalene, Mary and Mother Teresa suddenly kind of are like, You're so nasty. Both of them. And while this is happening, like, it is one of those things, like, people make mistakes, everyone. The problem is when they make mistakes, that's something. But what happens is, because you previously made mistake, I'll bring those all girls and then I'll gang up on you, and I'll just bully you. I don't know, Rachel, you talked so high about last night and suddenly it looked like she had no values when it's on the other side.
I disagree. I think there is a significant difference between, let's say, not the dinner party where Beck kicked off, but where Brooke kicked off. So there was Brooke and there was Gia and there was whoever else got involved. Rebecca. She might have not really have said anything, but she was in the background backing up Gia and Brooke and their maliciousness. There's a big difference between doing that and actually ganging up on people, shouting, probably swearing, making nasty comments, effectively bullying, and having a calm conversation in a group setting, again, where Gia and Juliet and Rachel calmly, respectful,
Alicia.
and Alyssa calmly, respectfully, and quite politely say, well, okay, you've apologized, but where is the accountability? Because you wait,
Accountability for
no,
what?
you need to wait because I waited. It's
All
only
right,
fair.
I'll wait.
The accountability for her repeated behavior and apologies, like it makes it okay. It's almost like Beck can act and say anything she wants and follow it up with an apology, and that makes it okay. So she can do it again because it's accepted that she can continue this pattern. But there's a very big difference between shouting, bawling, ganging up on people, genuinely ganging up on just one or two people, and having a calm, respectful conversation, asking someone, do you know what, like, okay, you've apologized, but when does it stop? When do you actually accept that your behavior hasn't been acceptable? Where's the accountability? They were just asking questions, legitimate questions. And then when Beck was just like basically saying, no, it's not needed, it's not necessary, that's when when Gia and Juliet pulled out. Well, no, it wasn't just the one comment because you also did this, you also said that, you also said that. And Beck was then scrambling to try and find a way to just be like, no, it's all a joke. It's just a joke. Jokes hurt. If we put aside the initial comment, jokes can still hurt, you
Yes,
know? And whether she intended to or not, Beck made what she thought was a jokey comment in the welcome drinks reception thing in the evening, and then spent the entire next day making fun of Rachel and how sensitive Rachel is and how upset she was, and making jokes to other people about that for the whole day. That's not acceptable. That's bullying. Just because it wasn't direct to Rachel's face doesn't mean that it's not bullying kind of behavior.
see, this is where you and I completely disagree.
It's okay. We can
No,
stop saying we disagree because we've been disagreeing for the
yeah,
whole episode.
because you have this thing where
I am
I
a big,
personally,
big like advocate for justice and fairness. And it's something that's like so deeply rooted in me. I I come to like, I don't know, let's say we're sharing an Easter egg or something. I want us to have exactly 50% each because it really matters to me and I don't know why, but I just feel it in my bones.
the problem with you is
What?
you misunderstand justice and fairness, because your sense of justice and fairness is completely localized.
Yeah, I
And
get that. I can only judge it by my own tape measure.
yeah, so what happened is, back there is nothing much to be accountable for. Yes, Rachel was hurt, she apologized, and there is nothing. I mean, what do you apologize for? Like, if I just walk on the road and you're suddenly like, oh, you walked in front of my house. If you are hurt, it's like kids, if you have a small kid and the kid got hurt, you apologize to them, but do you mean no? But you are just apologizing because the kid shuts the fuck up.
There's the other side of it though, because when when Gia and Rachel said to Beck, when are you going to be accountable? If she'd been more open to that conversation, because let's face it, she clearly wasn't wanting to be open about it. If she'd been more open to it and willing and or able to think about it on a broader spectrum than just the one catalyst event, for that weekend, couple of days.
All right.
Wait, then in considering they were talking about not only that event, they were talking about other occasions. They were referencing other occasions where Beck has said something or she's fucked up and she's had to apologize afterwards. She could have taken that in the broader sense and gone, do you know what? Yeah, okay, maybe my behavior hasn't always been appropriate and I have apologized. And I'm assuming it gets tiresome. Like she could have accepted that because she knows she's fucked up before. She knows she's then apologized for those things. She could, in her own head, discount the thing with Rachel and just be like, take it on the chin for the previous incidents, not have to be specific in anything she says, and just move on and just be like, yeah, okay, I'll take accountability from
Accountability.
now on.
No, the thing
For
is,
the other times, like I say, she can disregard the one with Rachel because she doesn't actually have to say anything to anyone about which ones she is and isn't being accountable for. She could just say, as like a broad statement, like, yeah, okay, I take it, I accept that, let's move on.
all right. First thing, you have your opinions. That is fine, all right. And you taking Gia's side in this,
I know.
that is why I call your sense of justice and fairness is completely utterly stupid because Gia,
Oh, no,
if
don't call it stupid. You can disagree. That's fine, but you can't call it stupid. Don't you disrespect me. I'm too sensitive for that.
yeah, and I don't care. First thing, see Gia, if the comment is not made by Beck and if it is made by somebody else who is Gia's friend, you know what Gia will be like?
What?
You're reading too much into it, babe. Chill down.
Yeah.
You understand, Gia has continuously disrespected, egged on, and she has never taken accountability except saying once sorry, but she hasn't taken accountability. And when she hasn't taken accountability, she wants to humiliate back. That's all it is. The concept of Gia, Alyssa, and Juliet, they don't really care about Rachel's feelings. They don't really care a bit. What all they care about is humiliating back, and that's why they jumped on it. There is one thing resolving solution, like being a bigger person,
Yeah.
and none of them had. And the problem with bringing all those things is, how many times are you gonna whip a person because they have done something else before? Because this thing, while she said sorry back, even if she didn't say sorry, it would be completely all right because there is nothing to take accountable for. Rachel being her insensitive girl, she got butthurt. And at the same time, Rachel talks about so many values. When all those three other girls are using the opportunity to put down back, she could have stood up and said, this is between me and Gia, but no, because it was the is on the other side, she's really happy to let all the girls gang up on back.
I
How do you
disagree.
how do you what do you mean by you disagree? You keep saying you disagree without actually explaining why you disagree.
I disagree because I don't think that they were ganging up on her. They were basically calling her out in
Yeah.
a respectful way.
No, no,
They
let's
were
not.
they
No,
were
no.
asking her to take accountability for her behavior, past and present, because it's a pattern. They pointed out it's a pattern. It keeps
No,
happening.
no. See, that's
No,
what I'm talking about.
let me
They
finish.
used the
Let me
word of a
finish.
pattern.
It's a pattern. It does keep happening. We've seen it. They've experienced it, right? But then Rachel got more hurt and more upset because they then revealed that Beck was essentially making fun of Rachel for the entire day, which she didn't know about. So she was blindsided by that and more hurt and more upset. And you're saying that in the middle of that, she's supposed to say, wait. No, like, let's sort this out, just the two of us. Like, it's okay that you hurt me. again, that you've humiliated me again. No.
No, see, the pattern you're talking about is racism and sexism. It's like two black guys or brown guys have done a crime. You're like, okay, if a crime happens, let's go and check in the black community and brown community because
No, you're
it's
talking
a
about profiling.
pattern.
You're
No,
talking about profiling.
profiling is a
They're calling her
pattern.
out on the pattern of things that have happened, not oh, this has happened, but we don't know who's done it. Let's go see if it's this person who's
Because it's a
maybe
pattern.
done it before because we profiled them.
No,
No.
profiling is a pattern.
No,
See,
it's
because you are taking something that has happened and you are putting into this
no,
because the pattern fits. Because what happened on the day, a throwaway comment has nothing more than a throwaway comment that is
okay.
completely blown up. And now, wait, I'm talking. Why
And-
are you disturbing? Wait. And then you are happy to use the word pattern because the pattern fits for your narration.
No.
Let's leave the pattern on the side. What happened on this special issue is that's what I'm talking about. If the same comment is made by Juliet or Gia's friend, she'll be completely different. Here they have no concern. That's what they are ganging up. And your concept of they're being respectful, it's like, yeah, it makes me feel like if you are being respectful you can be racist, if you are being respectful you can be misogynist. And while Tyson was being respectful, you have a problem because he has views, because he's a misogynist. When Tyson was being respectful,
Listen,
you don't have any problem because Tyson was respectful.
in terms of pattern, if you go outside naked 12 midday every day, okay, let's say you go out naked in the street and you take a shit, and then a neighbor goes, that upset me, I don't like that. Okay, I'm sorry. And then the next day you go outside, you shit in just a bit further down the road, and a different neighbor goes, I don't like that, that upset me, I'm sorry. And you just continue doing that at the same time in the same way every day. That's a pattern.
Yes.
It's not someone.
Wait.
No, it's not. Oh, there's a shit in the middle of the road. I wonder if this person did it. No.
No, that's what happened.
No, because you are saying, I apologize for doing it. You are saying, I did it. I am sorry. That's not profiling. That's you admitting a mistake, admitting doing something that upset someone, and continuing to do it over and over and over again. That's a pattern of behavior. That's not profiling because you are admitting that you did it each time. You're just not acknowledging that there's a pattern of behavior there and you're just repeating it.
All right. See, with your very example, I'll tell you. So, what you're saying is before Rachel got hurt,
Yeah.
before you saw her reaction, did you see that as shitting? Back shitting. That's what I want. Because,
What do you mean?
see, this is the difference.
They
Rachel-
showed recaps of examples of I've not got them in order, but Beck was rude and quite cruel to Joel and then apologized to him another day. She was cruel and nasty to Alyssa and apologized another day. There was another occasion where she was horrible to Alyssa and then apologized on a different day. And then she was rude and cruel to someone else and apologized another day. Again, it's a pattern of behavior. She keeps saying things that are nasty, cruel, rude, inappropriate, attacking, whatever, intentionally in the moment, attacking, cruel, rude, whatever, and then apologizing for it at another time.
Okay.
That's the pattern of behavior. That pattern exists.
Wait.
You
I'm
can't
glad.
negate it.
No. I'm glad you brought this point. So what I am asking is,
Yeah.
when Beck made that toast,
Yeah.
did you feel the shitting, or did you feel that shitting when Rachel had that reaction? That's what I want.
Neither. She made a clumsy comment. Rachel got upset and hurt by it. She felt humiliated by it. And it was from that point onwards where Beck gave her shitty, fake non-apology and actually doubled down on what she said multiple times and was just, yeah, the wording was bad, sorry. And then, oh, it only happened because it was my husband who's responsible for your husband making a move.
No, no, no,
It
no,
was
no, no,
only no,
no, no.
wait, I'm explaining. It was because of all of that. And then it was the nasty comments and making fun of Rachel by the pool to other people the next day. That is the pattern of behavior I'm talking about. It's saying something clumsily that has an unintended, unexpected effect. Okay, it's not good, but it was an accident, right? The part of that that was potentially part of a pattern, or rather not a pattern, the pattern is the all eyes on me, Beck. Everybody attention on me because I want to say something and I need to be heard. But it was supposed to all be for a positive purpose. But it was as things unfolded that she just made nasty comment after nasty comment, more and more humiliating remarks about Rachel to Danny, to other people. And then while I've got the floor, let me continue because I've got onto Danny. Before we got up to I mentioned about her saying to Danny in bed, like, oh, wasn't that ridiculous? Wasn't that hilarious? Danny surprised me.
Because that was so stupid.
No, Danny really surprised me because I didn't realize he was privately such an unpleasant person. Because, or the alternative is that Beck has rubbed off on him because he always comes across as trying to be the gentleman. He seemed to pride himself on always being respectful. We've never seen him be shown to make any rude or disparaging comments before. And yet, in this episode, I feel like I've seen a side of Danny that I do not like. He is not the person he's been portraying. Clearly, it's been an act.
Well, that I have been telling from the start, but see
You
what
can
you
you
are.
can be doing what you feel you need to do to stay on the show and still be, for lack of a better term, a gentleman. But apparently that was fake too.
No, see what you were back rubbing on it. What happened is,
No.
when see it's all about that situation. And see what I'm talking about is, when you give a toast, you call people, and suddenly you are making it, oh, back, I am back, I need all cameras on. When you
Yeah,
are
because she
doing a
does
toast,
it.
so toasting is bad, so
She could
toasting
have
is
just not
wrong.
bothered.
So you think her toasting is actually a wrong thing because you are making it sound like it.
No.
No,
I
because
think her toast was her attention seeking.
see, that's what I'm
It
talking
was
about.
just not very well disguised.
See,
I
that's
probably
how
would have thought the same thing if it was Gia, if it was Juliet, if it was
they never
a few other
toast.
people.
That's what I'm talking about. See, this is, you don't like back. I totally understand.
Do you know
But
what?
how
I'm
you
50-50 with Beck. Some days I like her, some days I don't. It's all based on her behavior.
see, that's what
When
the
this pattern of
problem is.
behavior comes out, I don't like it.
See, that's what the problem is. See, the way you have been describing back, like her calling, toasting, and celebrating everyone's achievement is actually a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
and that is what this is what I'm talking about. The epitome of something wrong with society, because you have taken it and turned it around and twisted it.
Well, I think you might like this in maybe not such a positive way then, because when she was leaving the girls' night back, because obviously like Rachel and the others challenged her behavior, I felt personally it was again for attention, more screen time, because she's done it before. And what happened before? The cameras followed her, the producers followed her, and then she had those off-screen rants, like when she was saying like about Danny on the honeymoon, like, who does he think he is, like David Beckham or something, so
All
i
right.
i kind of wondered if that's where it was going to go out, and I typed that in my notes before it played out on
All
screen.
right. See, the thing is, you have, okay. What happened is, you have Gia who doesn't take responsibility, who is much worse than Peck, who doesn't take responsibility. Suddenly, being this Messiah or Mary and Mother Teresa, and when they are all ganging up on her, you expect Beck to take down, and she should not walk away. But Rachel You don't like Beck. Let's leave it at there. I totally understand it now. There is nothing discussing it. There is something about Beck you deeply, deeply dislike about her, and that is the reason why you are making. I don't know, anything she does is wrong, and that's what all the group has done, and she has rightfully walked away. And you are even making that as attention grabbing. There are like four people shitting on you continuously for something that has, I don't
Sometimes people deserve to be shit on
see.
repeatedly.
You don't like Back. This is you problem. This is not Back problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's deserved. She
See,
she
no, no,
needs
no,
it.
no, no, no. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, it's like law. Like for a crime you commit, you deserve it just because you have
Yeah.
committed crimes previously
You
doesn't
don't do the
mean
crime if you can't do the time.
no. You what you want is because they have committed crime previously. Oh, they should be punished right now. Okay, I totally get where you're coming from.
Well, think about it. Like,
No, I'm
wait,
not.
wait,
Let's
wait.
move on.
No, Beck's bad behavior. Let's class her apology as punishment. She's done it again and again and again. When's she going to learn that it's just not okay and she can't keep just doing it and apologizing? It doesn't matter whether it's Beck, her clumsy words, or her deliberate choice of words, which have been on some occasions followed by an apology. It's like when a toddler's learning,
Okay.
and
See,
they
no, no,
no
no, no.
wait,
I'm not going to
wait.
get into this concept of political correctness. And if you have
Okay.
seen
Okay,
Danny,
okay. Let's move on then.
While he has, when Beck is in the wrong, Danny has always stayed away or actually tried to, how do you say, discipline her in his own ways, like try to give it
Yeah.
her personally. But Danny is on Beck's side. The problem is you don't like Beck, and whatever Beck has done, you dislike her. That's what it is about, because in this situation Beck hasn't done anything, and while the girls ganged up on her, she left, which is rightful. And I don't know, and you see that as grabbing attention. And yeah, this is
Yeah.
you having a problem with Beck. It's not Beck having
I
doing any
think though
mischief
that Danny
today.
has a problem with Rachel and that's the only reason he was supporting Beck. I think he doesn't like Rachel, but
No,
he obviously
no,
thinks Steve's a cool guy, so they hang out outside of MAFS, like outside of filming. So I think
let's not.
that's
No,
partly
no,
where his
let's.
support
No, you
came
do
from.
not have to
Wait,
kind of tell what Danny's intentions are. I
wait,
understand
please.
your intentions, so let's move
No,
on.
because you're kind of right that when Beck's behavior previously has been bad, Danny he doesn't say anything to support Beck necessarily, and he doesn't go against her. He actually deliberately distances himself from her, like the night where it was the dinner party. It was just her dropping bombs everywhere. He didn't want to physically be anywhere near her, if you remember.
Exactly. No.
He just remains neutral and gets distance if he can.
Okay, see, I don't want to argue with you, because when Danny has done that, you respect Danny's judgment. But when Danny has supported Beck today because Beck is in the right, you now say, oh, maybe Danny doesn't hate Rachel, because your dislike for Beck has creating this kind
No,
of complex intentions.
I kind of feel like he's shown that he doesn't like Rachel and that it bothers him that she's so sensitive.
No, see,
Almost like maybe he thinks like she's just a big baby and she's got to grow up and get over it. But actually, it's okay to be sensitive sometimes. You might not like it,
no,
but
see,
it is
this
what
is
it
what, no,
is.
no, this is what I'm talking about. When Danny distanced himself because Becky is in the wrong, you recognize it. But when Danny, as a husband on the show, supports Beck because she's in the right, what you are doing is you are creating an ill intention of Danny towards Rachel, because you do not want to agree that Becky is in the right and she got ganged up on. And while she gave a beautiful toast, our sensitive baby Rachel got hurt. She made a ant hill out of mole, And what happened is the other girls didn't like Beck, so they made it out to be something big, even though they don't care about Rachel. You haven't seen Alisa once talking to Rachel, you haven't
Do you
seen.
want to maybe take a breath?
Can you let me talk? Because this is interrupting. Even though you are being nice, stop interrupting me. So, because I am clocking what it is that you are feeling. You dislike back.
No,
So,
I had
keep on disliking
no, I
back. I
had
have no
something to.
problem.
I have something to say.
Because you don't have to interrupt. So, I have clocked. Suddenly, you started interrupting me with your jabs, respectful jabs. Respect is in air quotes. But anyway, no, I understand, because you want to believe what you want to believe. Your sense of fairness and justice is so strong. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Right. Do you not think, or rather, I think, rather than me ask you, I kind of think that maybe the reason that Danny is supporting Beck in this is because he doesn't like Rachel and they both dislike Rachel, so they're aligned on that. Also, Beck came back from the girls' night, gave her perspective on what happened. Ordinarily, when things have kicked off and things have happened, Danny has been there and seen it himself. Whereas for this, he can only take Beck's word for it. I also, personally, I also think that they've spent the day talking about it, possibly drumming up plans for how they're going to talk about it, address it, and blah, 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 blah. Because otherwise, I honestly don't think he would have been so forthright with Steve in the questions he asked and the way he asked them repeatedly to try and get an answer. I'm not just cooking something up because I dislike Beck sometimes. I just think they both dislike Rachel. They're both aligned on it. He's only got one perspective to go by.
Suddenly,
No,
Danny is stupid for your narrative.
no, he's not stupid. He's just, why would you go against someone when it fits your own narrative?
No,
He
because
doesn't like Rachel, so he's just going to stick with Beck, who also doesn't like Rachel.
see, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of saying that Beck, Danny feels Beck is in right, just like I feel Beck is in right, he stuck up for Beck. Instead of that, you created this mesh of complex things because you want to kind of, I don't know, you want to prove your narrative. That's very well done for justice and fairness.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, but I did think the edit was kind of funny at one point because Beck obviously left the girls' night and
For the attention while she's being ganged up on.
walked around down to where the guys were because obviously she wants to get Danny and speak to him, and it was it was Danny narrating it as well, wasn't it? Like, oh, and all of a sudden the embers started flying out from the fire, the smoke was getting blown in his face, and then all of a sudden everyone's like having to get up and move away from the fire because the embers are being blown out by the wind, and then the lightning comes in and it's almost like a bloody omen and a sign of what was to come next with Danny and Beck, Rachel and Stephen. It was kind of funny, especially the way that they showed it and narrated it as well. I thought it was good. It was interesting.
I mean, they
It
do
put
the
a bit
edit.
of levity back into the episode.
Well, it happened at the same time. Yes, that's a coincidence. And
It was funny, a funny
when
coincidence.
back went to Rachel, they both actually picked Danny, not Danny. They picked Steven, and they wanted to get Rachel too,
Yeah.
so they could diffuse the situation. When Danny and Beck went to get Rachel, what do you think her behavior was? Let's talk about it, because
I understand. I do. I understand both sides.
no, I mean, how was her behavior? Because we are talking about behaviors, so let's get into that.
I don't think
Suddenly,
she was disrespectful, but
oh, she was throwing mean comments everywhere. See, if the
she
shoe
made some
fits,
comments, but she wasn't rude or disrespectful.
see, that's what I'm talking about. For you, it's about it's elitist, like classic
No,
elitist. That the
I disagree.
standard you are. because what Rachel did was completely mean to. Like she didn't need to be because.
I can understand where she's coming from,
Oh,
though.
exactly. Suddenly you started to understand where she's
I can
coming from
understand where she's coming from.
because
No, let me
you
finish.
want to.
No, let me
Okay,
finish. I
I'll
can
let you
understand where she's
finish.
coming from because she was being made to leave the girls' night, like not through her own choice. Beck left of her own volition. She might not have liked what was happening. She could have
On her
wait,
own volition.
wait.
Come on.
She might not have liked what was happening, but she could have done or said whatever was necessary to shut it down, move on, move past it, and stayed and got to the point where she enjoyed the night. Cut to a little while later, Danny and Beck show up at the girls' night and ask Rachel if she will leave to go and have a conversation with them. And she was just saying how much of a good night she was having, how it would have been nice if Beck had been able to be there and enjoy that part of the
Oh,
night.
come on. Crocodile tears.
She was being asked to leave when she was having a good time. She didn't want to go.
She could have said, I didn't
Why
want to
would
go.
anyone want to go if they're having a good time just to know they're going to have a difficult conversation? No, nobody wants to have a difficult conversation
Then
if they
she
can
could
avoid
have
it.
said, I don't want to come
But if she didn't, but if
respectfully.
she didn't go, it would have just been waiting for her later. That's
Yeah,
the
that's all right.
downside.
That's all right because do you not want to diffuse the situation? See, the crocodile tears of what is Rachel. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
When the
yeah.
shoe fits, when other girls gang upon a girl, suddenly she has this moral authority. When she is on the side
Moral
of the gang,
authority. What bullshit are you talking about?
because she has been making these comments during the dinner party and all, like, oh, those girls are being mean and all, without actually standing up for anything. But while she is on the side where they are ganging up on Beck, she had no problem. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
when Beck left, she even made a couple of comments like, you're leaving because you're not don't want to take accountability or something. It's just,
Was
it
that her or
was,
was that somebody else?
well,
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know, but it was on her side. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When the shoe fits, she's happy to have others gang up with her. But when the shoe doesn't fit, she's suddenly morally good person. And then when she's leaving, she could have gracefully left, but she made those, yeah, mean comments.
Okay.
And you're happy with her making the mean comments because she is Rachel and you like her.
I'm glad you said that. Let's talk about mean comments. Because when Beck was giving her version of events to Danny for what happened at girls' night, she was mocking Rachel. She was making mean comments. She was being disrespectful. Is that okay?
Yes,
Why?
because it's a discussion between a husband and a wife. They could have any kind of language. Just because it's shown on TV doesn't mean their discussion can have to be curated.
Then Danny was also responding to Beck, basically saying that Rachel needs to grow up. I didn't think that was acceptable either.
I
And
I agree too.
I felt what you agree with me saying that it's not on.
No,
Yeah, I
that
thought so.
Rachel needs to grow
I
up.
thought Beck was basically just trying to play the victim, that everyone was apparently coming at her and ganging up on her, and then saying that.
Is that not
She was
what
saying it's not
happened?
okay. No, I don't think that's what happened.
You don't think
We've
that
already
ganging
gone through this
happened?
before. Let's not like rehash it. We've gone through it.
You don't like Beck? You think Beck got
I
what she
don't.
needs?
No, I don't think she
What's
was ganged
coming?
up on.
What do you mean by ganged up on? Gia made some
No,
horrible comments during somebody's wedding. Gia did far worse than Beck has ever done, and
we're
suddenly
not
Gia
talking
is,
about that though. We're talking about this specific evening.
yeah, in this specific evening, Gia is making comments, Juliet is making comments, Alicia is making comments, and what exactly is the definition of ganging up on?
I
Because
don't think that she was ganged up on. We've already gone
she
through
was
it.
definitely ganged
No,
up on.
I'm not going to debate it and argue it with you. We've already gone through it.
All right, I'll go on to TikTok and find many influencers on my side, but let's carry
Feel
on.
free. And then I've already touched upon it a little bit, but when Danny was saying that Steve is a charity case. I thought that was awful. That's so horrible. I thought they were supposed to be friends.
He
He
was
said
hurt.
Steve's a charity case.
Yes, a comment that's made in during the conflict. During the conflict, people throw blows, and
No,
that's one of
because
the blows.
his problem was supposedly with Rachel, and all of a sudden it's not. It's with someone who's supposed to be his friend. You know,
Yes, see,
it's
from
so cruel. It's a horrible
from
thing to say.
Danny's side, what he's seeing is Danny and Steve are friends.
Right.
Their wives had a tug. At that point, what are the husbands supposed to do? They're supposed to diffuse. In the other case,
I don't feel that that comment is diffusing anything, though. Surely Danny being rude and disrespectful about both Rachel and Steve is just fueling Beck even more to continue making her own nasty comments.
well, that's how husbands talk. Husband and wife talks. If you have ever been in a marriage, you would know.
I saw you stumble over that like I'm not sure what I'm going to finish this with, and then you continued. You continued down the path you
But anyway,
realized
let's continue.
you
I am
continued down the
tired.
path you realized was wrong, and you said it anyway because we are married.
But anyway,
Okay.
let's move on. You head back.
I have nothing else to add for this evening.
And also, when Rachel is so sensitive, like how it ended is apparently Steven had a small talk with.
Oh yeah, supposedly Beck and Steve had a small 60-second conversation in the afternoon off camera without Rachel knowing about it, and then she's obviously upset that she didn't know that that conversation took place. Show.
Yeah, that's what. And Rachel is hurt. But the problem is now I understand why Steven is so careful about Rachel. He probably did not say to Rachel because you just don't know what this woman takes offense to and what she doesn't.
No, I mean, I have my own thoughts on it, but I'm not going to say it because it's just going to set you off even more about
No,
how I'm
please
anti
do.
Beck.
No, no, it's all right. See, I just wanted to. I did not clock that you are anti-back. You are
I
talking
told you,
about
it comes and goes,
fairness.
it comes and
See,
goes.
because you are using these words, fairness and justice, then I should have clocked that you are just anti-back and just. Yeah,
Whatever.
it's one of those things because yeah, it's all right. You can say whatever you want to say. I understand now why you see it as so bad. Like you dislike back,
Yeah.
so anything around her you'll just dislike. If she
I don't
has
dislike
a
everything about
glass,
her though.
oh come on, this is what you say, and you tear her apart.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
tear her for like 90 minutes. You tear her up, and then you say, "Oh, I don't dislike." I mean,
no, I don't
it's like
completely dislike her. I don't dislike everything about her.
it's like Juliet saying, I don't have that much hatred for you.
That much what?
Hatred for you to
Yeah.
Jewel. That's
Wow.
what it is coming across. But if you want to say anything, but
If the cap fits.
if you want to say anything, please say. Otherwise, let's end the show.
No, I think that's it. Let's call it a day.
Let's call it a day. And for anyone that is listening, hope nobody is listening. I apologize for the long, long
Listen,
discussion.
I think our longest listen so far is something like 1 minute 25, and I'm quite convinced it probably just came on by accident and they turned it off when they realized it wasn't something they chose. Like, I don't think anyone is choosing to listen. So, again, on that, we'll call it a night.
Let's
Bye.
end the show. Bye.